back. Thanks for listening and watching. I'm joined by Amity from Simplify Life again. Hi.
Hi, Trina. How are you this morning?
I'm doing okay. I'm excited to talk about one of the tools that you use, but let's back up a little bit for anyone that didn't watch our last episode or hear it. Talk real quick about what your book is about, and then we'll go into the tool that you use to accomplish some of the goals that you have.
So my book, Simplify Life, the Manual, is just a way of expressing the best teachings that I have towards minimalism over the last 9 years of my personal experience. And I talk in there about how I retired all the debt that we had in our family, and we've been working part-time at our paycheck jobs and pursuing our passions on our own side. So I just like to have a way of telling others, hey, you can have this too, and you can do better and be better than you ever thought possible with debt and clutter.
All right, and one of the tools that you use, a lot of people have heard about journaling, and there are so many different ways that you can do it, but you've got one specifically that's worked for you, so tell us about it.
Okay, this is the sketch journal method, and so the only rule is there are no rules. So you can use a sketchbook, as I have done, or you can use post-it notes, you can use a voice recorder, you can use poster board, anything goes. And to do the medium with it, you can use glitter, magic markers, pen, pencil, charcoal, Sharpies, just whatever you want to do to make it your own. You can write backwards, you can write upside down, you can tear a hole in your paper, you can spend hours on one little thing. It does not matter so long as you are happy with it and doing what you want to do with it. And so the purpose of the sketch journal is to track things that are important to you within the journey of minimalism. Like, for instance, you can write 100 things that you're thankful for, or free things to do, so that you have a list to refer to so you don't spend money unnecessarily. You can write your goals down and talk about, you know, where you want to be in 3 years or 5 years. And then by keeping the sketch journal, it just shows a visual progress report of where you have been and where you are going.
So it's kind of a no-stress means of documentation, so you can kind of mentally sort out where you're headed.
Yes, exactly.
And it's not necessarily the goal isn't a perfect art project or anything like that. It's just to have that down so you can see it.
Right, it's to unlock your creativity, and we all have it. We all have within us something that drives to create and is inspired. And so that's just a small means of bringing it out and allowing it to be born into your life. So the sketch journal is just a playbook. It's some place where you can come and just be yourself and play.
And if you're listening and not watching, you've just got a simple wired sketchbook, a small sketchbook, and you've just written with pen. You've done some of your own personal sketches in there. What would you recommend for someone starting out that's kind of like, well, I don't know what to do. I haven't, I'm not an artist, or,
Start with what is most comfortable to you. If it's writing, then just write. You can write a list of things you need to do around the house. I mean, that's perfectly fine, and I've actually done that in here. If drawing is the thing, start with drawing, start with doodling. If you just feel inspired halfway through to write a little bit of poetry down, write a little bit of poetry down. I mean, just make it yours.
Okay, and then when do you expect to start noticing a difference? Is it going to happen right away? Is it going to be in a week?
It can be as little as a month, really.
Yeah.
If you set goals for the month ahead and then you come back to it and you see that, oh, I met that one, oh, I didn't meet that one, but I met this one and this one and this one, then you're going to feel encouraged, and you can track your progress. And over years, you can really see a difference between, when you were having to write down a list of everything you wanted to clean, and then 5 years later you realize, I can do my house in an afternoon,
How often do you go back and look at your progress or check through what you've already done?
I used to do it quite a bit. There was a time that came a couple years ago where I delivered my collection of the journals to a friend, except for just a special few, and she destroyed them for me. So I don't have the record anymore. And that's another thing about it. When you're ready to let these go, just let it go, you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What are some of the other methods of people you've worked with, how they do it maybe a little bit differently?
Okay, so there was a lady that actually got me inspired with the idea, and her technique was just to write 3 pages a day, no more, no less. So you had a quota, you had to fill your quota, and you couldn't go over your quota. So that's another take on the idea of writing for creativity.
Something else that I've done, not exactly, but back, I don't know if you remember this, in art class in high school, we had the sketchbooks we carried around. We would put them in 4s. We drew an X, and then we had 5-minute drawings we do before class. Do you remember those?
No, I don't. That sounds fun, though.
I have never forgotten those because she would give us the freedom to write, draw, whatever for 5 minutes. Now, every now and then it might have been you have to just do writing, or you're supposed to draw this, or whatever the case is, or sometimes it was free completely. But it did just kind of relax you and gave you that freedom to just kind of let your brain go and unwind a little bit. And it does have some value. It really does kind of propel you. So,
yeah.
Anything else that you can suggest for someone getting started on this journey?
Don't stress about it. Just have fun with it. That's the point of this. Just to have fun and release your creativity. And you know, don't worry about making a masterpiece. In my journal, I use praying watercolors like little kids use, and I just have a blast with it. So, can I take a moment to show?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Please do.
So this is the one that's in progress so far, and as you can see, I've written a list of things that I needed to do around the house and everything, and then I put a flower on it, and that was my first attempt with watercolors in probably 3 or 4 years. And then just more doodling, more drawing, more list writing. In here is the outline to my 4th book. And I followed this outline to make the content for my Simple Fly Life, the manual. So this is just a small sketch, and then this is where I'm at in the end of it. Just got more writing. This is the last painting that I've done so far, and then the rest is just pen and ink drawing. And as you can see, I scrolled my text around just because I felt like it, and I've been having a lot of fun with it.
Oh, you got your workout on there too. Good deal. Awesome. Well, thanks. If you have questions, you can connect with us on Facebook, social media, anyway. Just appreciate your time.
Thank you, Trina.
Have a great
day. It's fun
day.
being here.
Thanks so much.